Hey everyone, and welcome to 360 with Pat. It's been a while I've been off, so bear with me as I adjust back to creating new videos to serve you better. I've been seeing many of my clients asking me constantly about questions whether they should take supplements, they should take vitamins, multivitamins, minerals, proteins, creatine. So, my intention in this video is to shed the light on all these requirements so you don't waste your money and so you know the truth behind all the hypes. Now, there has been so many trends and there are gazillion influencers out there really uh, marketing for products, pushing products. So here I'm targeting everyone on the spectrum of people, from athletes to mostly sedentary people. I'm gonna shed the light, give you some information so you don't get lost. Patrick, I'm afraid to take proteins because I don't want to look like these bodybuilders. Okay, so let's establish the basic premise. Proteins are molecules found in our food. We have three different or four different types of macronutrients. We have proteins, we have carbohydrates, also known as carbs, and we have fat. Plus, we have the micronutrients that are vitamins and minerals. Proteins are available everywhere. Actually, we are made of protein. So, from the food we eat, fat and carbohydrates or carbs provide us just with fuel, whereas protein provide us with amino acids once broken down in our digestive tract, and they provide us with the building blocks, with the bricks to build our cells, not only for muscle building. Proteins are essential for life. Every cell that has to be created needs some protein. Every muscle fiber that has been damaged due to exercise needs protein. Every enzyme in our body needs protein. So protein is really the building block of everything. Even my hair is made of keratin, which is a form of protein. Now, to demystify and start to make the difference, the bodybuilders you see that look freakishly inhuman in their own way, what they take, what makes them the way they are, is not protein intake. It's mostly the use of steroids or anabolics like testosterone and many other derivatives and combinations. And there's a major lingo for that. They're juicing up, they're using stacks. So that's not the purpose of this video. So everything you eat has specific amounts of amino acids and proteins. Proteins mainly come from two sources: animal proteins and vegetable proteins. You can consume them through food intake or through supplements. And I'm gonna explain the difference and when you might need to take protein supplements versus when your food is enough. So animal proteins, as the word states, come from animal. They are found in animal products you eat: meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and so on. Usually these proteins are of the best and highest quality because these proteins contain the whole spectrum of amino acids needed for the chemical reaction. Whereas protein coming from many vegetable sources lacks specific amino acids, which make them incomplete proteins. Now, there are exceptions to that, and in the future, I'm gonna be giving you more details about how to make things function. So this is when it comes to protein from food. Like vegetable proteins could be like soy protein, rice protein, pea protein, and so on. Everything has proteins in it. Not all proteins are equal. Not all proteins are digested or assimilated by your bodies equally, but you get the hang of it. We need proteins to function in our daily lives. Now, sometimes our requirements will go beyond what food can provide. So here we have kind of a dilemma. Say you need a specific amount of protein due to your energy expenditure and your activity levels. Sometimes if you want to get all your proteins through the food, you will end up eating way too much food. So either it would be impossible for you, or simply you will gain weight because in order to get your protein, you're getting with it all the fat content and all the carbs content, and you eventually end up eating way more calories than your daily calorie needs, which will make you gain weight. So for such circumstances where your protein intake needs to be regulated with your calorie intake, you might stick up to specific meals that for food intake protein, and you might fill in the gap of the remaining requirement of your proteins through protein powders or protein supplements or protein pills. Now let's talk about the protein supplements. Again, just like for food, there are plant-based protein supplements and there are animal-based protein supplements. One of the most common known forms of protein is whey protein. Whey protein basically comes from milk. Milk has fat, milk has carbohydrates, lactose, and other carbs, and milk has different sources of protein, whey protein and casein protein. Whey protein is maybe the best quality protein there is out there, both in matter of composition and in matter of availability and quality. Whey protein could be divided into two forms. There's the cheapest form, which is whey protein concentrate. Some people experience bloating or digestive issue due to that. Usually that's the cheapest one. If the whey protein concentrate gives you some discomfort, you might as well use whey protein isolate. Now, it's a little bit more expensive, but usually the molecules are micronized, are made way smaller, and you end up digesting it better. I myself have problems with whey protein concentrate, but with isolate, I have no problem to record whatsoever. There's also powders or supplements that are made of casein protein. This typical form of protein takes longer to digest. So usually for athletes, very high level professional athletes, they might need a slow delivery protein through their bloodstream. So usually at bedtime, they may take a casein protein supplement. So during their night, it slowly fuels their needs. On the other hand, you might find the vegetable proteins. Now, why do you need or might you want to take vegetable proteins? For so many reasons. Either your discomfort about ingesting animal protein, or simply because you don't want to consume animal products and you're vegan, you're vegetarian, or whatever reason pushes you to it. There's a wide array of vegan protein powders available in the market. Most of the proteins in the bars or in the powders that come through it come from pea protein and come from soy protein and etc. Just read the ingredient label and you know where they come from. So both are equally good, because usually the vegan protein or the animal-based proteins are designed and engineered in such a way that they also contain the whole spectrum of amino acids. So it's really a matter of choice and a matter of preference. So this is when it comes to protein intake. Now, some people might ask me, but how much protein do I have? I'm gonna be giving you some very general guidelines in this video, but remember, the nuance is what makes the difference. Yet, there are recommendations not to go below, and science is pushing further and further into who needs to eat how much. So I'm gonna run a small list here. So the general guideline for protein needs is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you want to calculate in pounds, you multiply by 2.2 and there goes your number. Now, this is a general guideline, like this is the minimum you need. Say I myself weigh 160 pounds, which is somewhere around 73 kilos. According to this general guideline, I might need at least 55 to 60 grams of protein. Now, the more we are physically active, the more we burn through damage our muscle cells, and the more our intake is needed. So For athletes and for active individuals, the dosage goes up from the initial 0.8 to 1.2 up to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, depending on the intensity and the type of activity. For muscle building and muscle growth, we even need somewhere between 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Remember, multiply by 2.2, you will get your amount per pounds. And many studies have even pushed up to 3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For weight loss, you also need to fluctuate somewhere between 1.2 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight in order to sustain muscle building while you're losing body fat. For older adults, you might slightly need actually a bit more protein than the base recommendation. So it is recommended to take between 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram to prevent muscle loss that comes naturally with age. Now, the thing about protein is, if you take it in one shot, say you take your required amount, one shot in the morning, protein is not like carbs or fat that get converted and stored in your body. After several hours, between 3 to 5 hours, it will get broken down and it will get, if there is an excess of it, it will get stored and converted as fat, whereas the excess nitrogen molecule that differentiate the protein will be eliminated through urine. So it's better to divide your protein intake throughout the day, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, or every 5 hours, and you divide them. And this way, you make sure that you have a constant and a permanent delivery of protein in your bloodstream to different body tissues to function and be made. So excess protein won't necessarily hurt you. It will not hurt you. Excess protein for your body will simply be converted and stored as fat. So everything in excess will be stored in your body. So this is when it comes to protein intake, general guidelines, anywhere between 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight up to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight, slightly more for really elite athletes. We'll give you your major recommendations. And protein might be the most necessary macronutrient needed, and we actually, many studies demonstrated that we fall short of getting our daily protein intake. So this is when it comes to protein. Now, how do you want to calculate, or how do you want to know? There are many online tools for your body needs, but there's always one way I recommend, which is to go and seek a professional, maybe a personal trainer, maybe a fitness specialist, expert, kinesiologist, sports doctor, anyone who's actually a professional in the field, which will make the proper calculations for you based on your body composition, on your exercise intensity, and on your genetics. Because certain people are genetically made to consume more proteins, while others are genetically made to consume more carbs or more fat, and so on. You get the picture. And more on the genetic aspect in future videos to come, because this is where I want to take every one of you. So this is concerning protein. Now there is a subject which is dear to me, which is creatine. There is lots of fuss around creatine, and this dates back to the old days of training. So back in the 70s and 80s, when huge bodybuilders wanted to explain to other people why they're getting big, and yet they did not want to admit that they were using steroids, or they did not want to say it publicly because steroid use might be illegal. So they would say, well, I'm taking my protein. Sorry, my creatine. So let's get to the basic. Creatine is a molecule naturally found in many foods. Many foods. Just go type in your Google research. Found in meat, found in poultry, found in eggs, found in different amounts in different foods. Now, creatine itself is a combination of 3 amino acids which you ingest. And creatine is one major molecule that helps in many aspects. It is the most researched supplement there is out there. It's been subjected to thousands and thousands of studies. It's perfectly safe, and I'm gonna give you some quick facts about the benefits of the use of creatine, not only by sports athletes, but actually by everyone. So creatine has been known to increase muscle mass because it gives you the ability to perform higher intensity exercise, so you'll be able to push yourself a bit more, then your body will adapt to this extra intensity and you will grow more muscle mass. It also improves exercise performance because it boosts both strength, power, and then endurance for short, intense bursts of physical activities like weightlifting, like sprinting, like any kind of activity that requires you to burst and relax. It also speeds up recovery because it reduces the muscle cell damage and inflammation, leading to quicker recovery post-exercise. It also supports brain function. Many studies, and it's not quite definitive out there. You might find certain resources stating many studies or not, but it may improve cognitive function to protect against neurological diseases. So this is a field of research that's ongoing, but results look promising. It also enhances muscle hydration. Now, many of you people who might have read a title, what's the word for it? A scoop title saying that creatine leads to water retention. Well, it does, but not the way you think. So when we say water retention, we typically think about our legs being swollen after a long flight or people having circulatory problems. The difference with creatine is that it leads to intramuscular water retention. So basically, your muscle cell only, because of the presence of lots of creatine inside of it, will stretch out a bit more and will hold more water inside of it, which is actually a good thing because it might act against a certain form of muscle dehydration by making more water available. And when you take creatine, due to this swelling of intramuscular water retention, your muscles might look a little bit more swollen. So that's kind of a double benefit on that end. And lastly, creatine reduces fatigue because it delays the onset of fatigue during exercise, which helps you sustain performance, which helps you push yourself better, which helps improve your all-over ratings and skills. Now, I'd like to make a little nuance. Creatine is different from that thing you do in your blood tests for your kidney health, which is called creatinine. These are two different things, okay? So creatinine is a marker inside your body. Creatine is a molecule you ingest, and it acts as part of the energy production in the human body. Now, if you do have medical problems, if you do have kidney problems, if you do have liver problems, you should consult with your doctor or your physician to see if it is safe to take for you. But this is not only applicable for creatine, it's also applicable for protein because certain diseases require you to reduce on protein, and basically to everything there is out there. Like, say you have celiac problems, you will have to stop taking gluten. Doesn't mean that gluten is bad for everyone, but let's keep it rational. The idea is, if you are a healthy adult individual, you clear out your physician report, creatine is safe and well researched. So both for the short and long-term use, many people have been studied with more than 10 years of active daily creatine use. Now, when should you take creatine? Doesn't really matter. Yes, you could take it kind of an hour before exercising, but research has shown you could practically take it anytime during the day. It's gonna work to replenish your creatine phosphatase stores in your muscle cells. So just feel free to take it with water, with your protein shake, or with any other juice or anything. No, you don't need sugars and carbs to help absorb creatine. That was kind of a myth. Now science and studies have shown it's not really necessary. And you don't need any more to go for what was usually referred to as a loading phase, where in the first week you had to take 20 grams per day, and then your stores were supposedly full, and then you could switch back, dial down to taking 3 to 5 grams a day. This is not needed either anymore. So after a couple of weeks of taking your regular single dose creatine supplement, your stores will be kind of a little bit full. Now, how much do you need per day? 3 to 5 grams, no more. Usually the products you buy have one scoop that's around 5 grams. Just pitch one scoop in whatever beverage you feel like and enjoy it. Now, what kind of creatine is there? Just like protein powders, there are different varieties and different gimmicks. Same goes for creatine. Now, you may find the most common creatine supplement is creatine monohydrate. It's very cheap, it's very available, and it's usually very, very well tolerated by almost the majority of people. But for certain people, it might create some bloating due to the fact that it might pull some water and they might have some digestibility issues. So there are different varieties, a little bit more expensive, but just go along with some creatine monohydrate, and if it gives you some mild discomfort at first, you might try to experiment with another variety. Don't give it more aura than that, and all are properly absorbed. Every single variety is kind of fully safe unless you have an underlying medical issue, which you need to be checking with your doctor. So there's the basic thing about proteins and creatine. Creatine will not make you look like an animal. I myself, you look at me, I'm on a creatine regimen and I take my proteins to meet my daily requirements, and that's it. I'm not sick and I don't look freakishly huge. Remember, these inhuman looking people, like the real professional bodybuilders, they do take more steroids and more other products that are made to artificially boost their natural capacities. So go ahead, feel free to take any form of protein powder, feel free to take any form of creatine powder, as long as you take them according to the daily recommendation, you should be quite safe for most of it. And lastly, I want to address the issue or the topic of vitamins and minerals. Many people ask me, what shall I take? What do I need to take? Do I need to take magnesium? Do I need to take selenium? Do I need to take vitamin E? Do I need to take vitamin C or vitamin D? Just name it. So here's how it goes. Your blood work, firstly, if you eat if your food has a good variety in it, if you eat your vegetables and if you eat your fruits and if you eat your animal products, whatever it is, chances are you might be getting enough amount of minerals and vitamins needed. Yet, in some instances, you might need to supplement. How to know if you want or if you need to take some supplementation? Well, it's easy. Talk to your doctor, get some blood work. If you're deficient in a specific mineral or vitamin, then you will be directed to take the proper product that will fix this deficiency. Some people are genetically prone to under absorbing vitamin D, like myself. It took me a genetic test. So chances are I might need vitamin D intake. Then I go to my doctor, I get some blood work, and it shows that I'm okay. So far, I don't need to supplement. Same goes for anything. Now, why it's not a good idea to actually just take vitamins and minerals, because just like myself, genetically, I have this ability to overabsorb iron and vitamin B12. So basically, with regular food, I'm on the upper end of the spectrum for my iron levels. Now imagine I take iron supplements. I might actually be jeopardizing my health, and this could prove quite dangerous because lots of heme iron might actually hurt me. Same goes for any other vitamin. Vitamin A, D, E, K, which are fat soluble, they stay in your body. And the rest of vitamins are water soluble, so you will end up excreting them through urine. But if you have no deficiency, you do not need to supplement. Just eat properly. Have a really wide variety of vegetables, of fruit, which are all healthy and contain many other chemicals and antioxidants and fibers, which are very, very important for the gut health and for general health. And live free from spending your money on not really proven products. Many products on the market do not come from a reputable source. Lots of studies have been made on many products that actually contain harmful chemicals. So pay attention to the sources of vitamins and minerals and supplements you're taking. Have it from a reputable source. And again, ask your doctor for a blood work. Ask your doctor to have a mineral profile and a vitamin profile. And should you have any deficiencies, your doctor will actually prescribe the right supplement that will actually be properly absorbed and will not jeopardize you and jeopardize your health. So here it goes for this video. Demystifying in simple language, proteins are a must. Depending on your level of activity, you might have different requirements for different amounts. If food enough cannot provide you with your daily requirements, then you resort to a little supplement. Remember, it's called a supplement, not a replacement for food. Creatine is perfectly safe. Take it, do not worry. You're not gonna look weird. You're not gonna look buff. You're not gonna look like a mutant. It's not gonna hurt your kidneys or your liver. Again, as long as you do not have any underlying risk or medical problem or health problem, it's perfectly safe to take. Just remember, when in doubt, ask a professional, ask your physician, have some blood works. It's very easy, it's very simple. And most countries where you have like national health care could be free also. Concerning vitamins and minerals, same logic applies. If you are deficient in something, then you take a supplementation under the guidance of a credentialed professional so you don't hurt yourself. Don't go out there and take it preventively because you might be actually hurting yourself. And you will save some money. Sometimes you will save yourself from any disease. And sometimes if you are deficient, you will actually save yourself from the deficiency and be in a better health and have your different functioning. Remember, try generally now speaking in pounds for protein requirements. Try aiming for at least 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight if you are really active. That's a good requirement. Women typically need less than men. Again, it depends on your level. As for creatine, a single daily intake of 3 to 5 grams, like it's either one full scoop or half a scoop if you want, if you're not sure about it. Make sure to properly hydrate, especially when taking creatine. Creatine loves water. It pulls it in your body, inside your muscle cells. So make sure to properly hydrate to get the full benefits of it and not end up in a mild state of dehydration. Anyway, water is the most important thing you should be consuming. And when it comes to vitamins and minerals, there is no guideline because it's really tailor-made for your needs. I hope this video provided or shed some light on your or demystified the concept of protein and protein powders and creatine and vitamins and minerals. Save your money, save yourself, be healthy, and stay strong. Should you have any question, should you have any requirements, or if I said something that's really wrong, do not fail to write something in the comment section. I will make my best to make the proper research to answer you or to provide you with more details. Now stay tuned. You might want to check up all these videos, past videos from my channel. There is more to come. And remember, stay strong.